Welcome to the Collector Cave, and today we have a review of Mezco Toys 1/12 Collective Major Toht from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. And this is a figure that I've been excited to get. I have Indy, I already did a review on him, and now we have the second figure release from Mezco in the Indiana Jones line. Hoping to get more. No more have been announced, but we'll see. But this is a deluxe version, and if you guys have seen Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know who this guy is. He's the creepy Nazi that scared everybody in the movie. Arnold Toht, part of the Gestapo, one of Hitler's right-hand men. And man, what a great movie villain he turned out to be. And so this is a deluxe set, and man, awesome picture of the actor portraying Major Toht in the movie. A very cool stylized look. It looks very 30s, which is super cool. And on the side here, get a picture of that ghost that comes out of the Ark of the Covenant, because he comes with both of these items. As you can see back here, since this is a deluxe set, he comes with quite a bit. The ghost, I believe, is a light up, got a light up feature, so we'll check that out. There is the Ark of the Covenant, which looks pretty representative of what it looked like in the movie, and then a couple rods to move it, carry it. A bunch of different hands, and then the 4 head sculpts. So at the end, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they open the Ark, bad things happen to the bad guys, and he has the famous melting face scene. And so, boy, that's going to be super cool to look at those head sculpts. They look really good. And there's a normal head sculpt. He has his jacket, looks really good. He also comes with, of course, a posing rod and a stand here. And then he comes with the Staff of Ra headpiece. That's what he grabbed when he was at Marion's bar, and it burned that in his hand because it was hot. And then he comes with like a Luger and then this red hot poker. Only thing he's missing, which kind of bums me out, is the coat hanger. I mean, if you remember, he walks in and he has this thing, it looks like some sort of like weapon he's going to beat her with, and it turns out to be a coat hanger. It would have been a nice touch if Mezco would have included that. But regardless, this looks great. The box has all these different symbols. Kind of cool. Almost reminds me of whatever temple Indy was in Peru in the beginning. So they've kind of gone with that motif. But there's a skull here, though. So yeah, kind of cool. On this side of the box, if I back out a little bit, Indiana Jones, there's a picture of the Ark of the Covenant. And on the top, we get a gruesome picture of his melting face. Again, a nice painting of that. And I wonder if this was done by, was it Drew Stanzen? I forget his name, that did a lot of the artwork. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but yeah, this looks really great. The reflecting light off the one lens looks so cool. Very cool, very stylized. So let's get this guy unboxed and take a look at everything he comes with in closer detail. And every one of these Mezco 1/12 figures comes with this product care guidelines talking about that this is for ages 18 and up. It's not for children, and it talks about how to care for your figure so it doesn't get messed up. This one also comes with directions showing you how the ghost goes on this posing post, and then how the head works with the glasses. I think you have to remove the hat and put it on each head. I'm not sure if the glasses are in place or if they have to be removed as well. And then there's his overcoat that just hangs on his shoulders. Hopefully that'll stay on good. We'll see. And then here's the Ark of the Covenant. As you can see, the top comes off. The poles are removable. And then a nice feature here is it takes, I think, AAA batteries. I think those are AAA. Yeah, AAA batteries. So it's not one of those little dime penny batteries that die after 5 minutes. This will last you a while. So I'm excited they're moving away from those when they can. And that's it. And then for the figure, this is a bigger package than most Mezco boxes because, again, it is a deluxe. Now, yeah, it looks like he comes with 4 sets of glasses, so that's cool. They give you 4 sets of glasses, as you can see right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the one is bloodied up, which goes on the bloodied head sculpt. But boy, these head sculpts look fantastic. We'll look at them in closer detail. And then there's his hands and his coat, or his hat, I should say. And then here is the Ark of the Covenant. Oh, they do give you batteries. That's good. They give you AAA batteries. There's this like translucent ghost that comes out of the Ark. The Ark is big. That top is big. And then here's the poles. Wow, this is really big. and then the stand and his overcoat. So let's get this thing all unboxed and take a closer look. All right, and here is Major Toht and everything that he comes with. This truly is a deluxe set from Mezco, a lot of stuff. I'm really surprised at how big the arc is. It's really good size. But yeah, just looking at everything he comes with. So if I zoom in a little bit, there's the rods that go into the sides to carry the arc. This is the 1/12 poly bag, so if you don't want to keep the packaging, you can put all these accessories in the bag. Here's the stand, which looks really nice. Same as Indy stand, nothing's different with it. I like the sand color they used. And then he has the posing arm or the flight rod, which I don't really see this being used for this figure, but every 1/12 figure comes with it. And then there's the 3 head sculpts, which we'll get into in a little bit. They are fantastic. All 3 of those are really, really good. And then there's Major Totes. There's one little issue I have with mine, and I'll show in a minute. But it's, you know, not seeing him with his glasses and hat on, he looks really different. Looks really kind of goofy, which I guess he did look goofy in the movie, right? He was really creepy looking. The guy did a great job playing that role. So we'll take a look at him more, but he has a nice pinstripe suit. And then here is the ghost thing, which I've already got on the stand. The stand just plugs in down there, and then it plugs in up. There's a little hole in the ghost there to plug it in. And then there's the arc, which we'll look at greater detail in a little bit, but it does open up. And it's supposed to be like, just like, you know, it's like sand, whatever in the movie. Nothing really there. It's just kind of what it is. I think it's going to light up and look pretty neat. And then it just closes over there. It's plastic. It's not anything different, no metal. And then here's his coat, which looks like a really good, like a normal Gestapo coat would look back in the day there. It does feel rather thin. I've noticed a lot of Mezco's leather or fake leather goods have felt rather thin in the past year or so. So I'm hoping this stuff holds up over time. I don't know if this will. This type of stuff is always the first thing to break down over time. With that said, I've been collecting Mezco since 2018, I think, and I haven't had anything break down or break on me or anything. And I've you know, messed with my figures pretty good, have them on display, so I'm not too concerned. And then it does come with 3 AAA batteries. Not the highest quality batteries probably, but I'll take them for the, you know, using this as much as I'll have that thing lit up. And then here are the different hands, the Staff of Ra emblem. And then he has these hands when he's melting, and then he also has the fedora, the hat. And then there's the Luger, the poker rod that he uses to torture or try to torture Marion with in the beginning of the movie, and then 4 sets of glasses, with the last one being the bloody one, which goes on that face right there. So man, super cool stuff, super cool. So let's take a closer look at Toht and kind of get a good idea of what he looks like. He almost reminds me, this face almost reminds me of the guy from Princess Bride, right? Inconceivable. Whatever that actor's name is, I forget his name, but he kind of looks like him, in my opinion. Boy, what a great job with the balding look they did. Now, here's the issue I have. They did not put any wrapping on this. As you can see, the suit bled into the neck, and there's no way to get that off. So that's disappointing that they didn't wrap it. But this is a problem with Hot Toys too. They dye all these clothes. They use dyes. The dye rubs off on this type of plastic, and then you're left with something like that. So it looks like he's got a tattoo on his neck. So, you know, for toy photography, I just gotta be careful where I can edit that out. But disappointing that right out of the box, he comes, you know, with that bleeding on there. And then he's got a nice tie, handkerchief in the sport coat there. I don't think it opens. I kind of mess with it. I'm not going to try. I think it's just these fake buttons. It's like glued on or stitched on or something. So there's no reason to take it off, honestly. I'm not going to mess with it. But yeah, let me back out a little bit. I feel like his arms maybe be a little long. At least they look a little long to me. In person. Maybe on camera, not so much. They look a little long in person, but yeah. And then there's his shoes. I do have to kind of mess with the tailoring a bit. I had to pull the tie over some. The tie was kind of pushed over on mine. And there's not a whole lot I can do about this suit because it's locked in place. There's not much I can do to fix how this looks. That's the thing you get when you get figures that actually have cloth. You're going to get sometimes things bunch up funny. It looks better on camera than it does in person. In person, this is kind of bunched up right here. Hard to tell, but overall, he looks pretty good. And I'll probably have the overcoat on him as well. So there's that. Let's go over articulation. The head is, there's only one ball joint at the base of the neck. It's one of those sculpts that's from the neck down or neck up. So it's just, you can look down really good. He looks up okay. Side to side, you can turn his head, no problem. Arms are on ball hinge joints, as most Mezco figures are. You get about that much out of it. And then bicep swivel, but the suit kind of hinders a bit. And then double jointed elbows. I guess it doesn't hinder. It looks pretty good. Ball hinge wrist joints, which is part of the course for Mezco. And then the chest, there is an upper torso and a ball joint, upper torso ball joint, and a mid torso waist ball joint. So you can bend over sort of good. Again, you're not going to do dynamic poses with this dude. I mean, he came in, he looks scary, and then his face melts at the very end. That's like pretty much the extent of him, besides running and putting his hand in the snow because he burned his hand on that thing. Boy, this tie, I gotta be really careful. I'm afraid this tie is gonna break. But everything, it's jumbled up. The tie, I may have to try and work with this tie somehow under the suit because it's all been pushed over, probably in shipping. I can't take the suit apart to fix that. So definitely a little bit of futzing to do with this figure out of package because of the suit he's wearing and the fact that I can't seem to open up the double-breasted suit here to get to that tie. I can probably use one of these rods to get down in here and push it over. That might actually work good. Yeah. Trying to get that tie just lined up straight inside the figure. That's better. I still don't like how this is pushing out. It's not laying very flat. It's like it needs to go down more, but since it's sewn, I can't pull that down more. So the suit, in my opinion, at least for my figure, didn't turn out as well as like the Dick Tracy stuff. The Scarface, or not Scarface, Prune Face. That looks great. But I got some just minor. It's not a big deal. It's just minor stuff. Let's check out these other head sculpts because they are really good. And another thing to be careful with, and happened with Prune Face, is putting the neck on. Because it's a full neck and not like a ball joint there. You're gonna get the collar of the coat or shirt. It's gonna push it down. So you got to be careful with that. Let's try and get some glasses on this guy and see what he looks like. I'd be careful with the glasses too because it could damage the paint on the hair because they are rather sharp. But I will say this: glasses on 1/12 scale figures usually don't work very good, but these lock in great. And now let's get the fedora, which is designed different than Indy. Indy had a plug. You pull off the hair and plug in the hat. This is just sits on his head. So how does that look? Does it look big? No, I think it looks pretty good. Look at that head sculpt. Let me zoom in. That is fantastic, man. That is so fantastic. And I think I think they did some makeup to the actor to make him just look really creepy. Kind of blotchy. As you can see, there's like some yellows and stuff in here. Looks like he's got a mole or something on the side there. Very blotchiness with some different pigments on his skin. Of course, that could be the fact that he's starting to melt too, right? Oh, this one's got some different pigment on the nose. But yeah, that is awesome. All right, let's check out the next level of meltiness here. Wow, that looks so good. Sorry, it's off camera, guys. I probably should be doing this stuff off camera, but I want to show you guys what it's like. Oh yeah, the glasses are different. So each level of glasses changes too. This one's got a crack in them. This, if I can get this upright. The glasses are still starting to crack and melt. Look at that. Put the hat on, like the hat's melting on his head. Oh my gosh. This is like something out of like a B movie horror movie from the 70s. I mean, it's so I still don't know how they got away with a PG rating on this movie with these faces melting. I remember being a kid and my parents were out and I had a babysitter over and this movie came on. I had seen it before, but I would always leave the room whenever this ghost scene took place. That and this melting of the face, oh man, I had to run in my room and like hum to myself so I couldn't hear it or see it. I remember that. What a great memory. And then finally, here is this epic head sculpt. Before I put the hat and glasses on, I want to show this to you guys. Look at that. You can see like the muscle. It's like glossy. It's done so well. Part of his hair is still there. I mean, these head sculpts by Mezco on this figure are really good. Fantastic. And then we get the last set of glasses, which I think are like coming down his face, something like this is how they are, right? And it's just, look at, they got red lenses in them like it's blood. And then the hat, I know the hat eventually falls off his head. You don't got to do it perfect. I mean, that looks right there, looks fantastic. You can even get the hat. I think the hat falls back off his head. I can't remember. I have to watch it again. I've watched it so many times and I can't remember if the hat falls forward or backwards. The stop animation they did with that. Wow. Epic stuff. All right, that's cool. I'll do something in a little bit with that. But for now, I'm going to pause it and put him on his trench coat. Okay, I'm not having much success with his overcoat staying on his shoulders. It does have arms in it, and the strap is metal. It's got metal wire running through it. But yeah, just there's so much cloth and soft goods. It's really hard for this thing to stay on him. And his arms don't, they kind of pop away from the body a little bit. There's not a lot I can do to push him in more. So that's part of the issue with this coat just kind of hanging over the top of him, which kind of bums me out. It just doesn't look good. Maybe if I hold it in position for a while, it might stay, and then the arms pop out kind of weird. It just doesn't look the best. Yeah, look at that. I'm just not a fan of this. And I don't know if I can get it on him because he already has a suit. Let me see if I can get this coat to actually go on the figure. Okay, I've stopped here because I'm afraid I'm going to end up ripping it. There's just too much material between the suit, the shirt, and this to even get it pulled up. I probably could force it. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do that and rip this material because it's real thin. And that's a shame because I think he looks really cool having the coat on, just kind of over his shoulders. So I don't know if they needed to make it bigger or something to make it fit, or if I just have to work with it more. But, you know, I've messed with it about 5 minutes and it's just not doing what I want it to do. It does feel nice. It's very supple, but yeah, it's just not working out too well, which is a little bit of disappointment. All right, I fussed around more with the figure and the coat it just doesn't want to stand very good. But as you can see, his right hand has that Staff of Ra medallion burned into it. So that's pretty cool they did that. And then here he looks with the coat. Just doesn't look the best. I mean, it looks okay. In person, not as much, but on the camera, not too shabby, I would say. But yeah, overall, I think for those that steer clear of Mezco or these types of figures because of soft goods, this one might frustrate you. And I can see why people don't like soft goods because this one's definitely difficult to work with, in my opinion. But look at these other hands here. As you can see here, all of his right hands have that symbol of the staff, the medallion here, burned into his hand. Even this one for the poker. That looks really good. And then there's a fist. And then I've got the Luger in this hand. It went in real easy. Maybe I can show that better here on the camera. I'll zoom back a little bit. But yeah, there's the Luger. It's all painted black, nothing else, just black. Not really any dry brushing done on it. But yeah, it's that. And then here's the poker, the hot poker. If I can, yeah, looks pretty cool. And let's see here if we can get this thing into his hand. I think we can. I think he can actually hold this. Might be able to. Yeah, I think he can hold it. Look at that. That is super cool. So you could use the screaming head along with this, where he's holding on to the hot medallion. It's burning his flesh. And he runs outside and stuffs his hand in the snow to try and get it cold. Very cool. Okay, so that's the figure. Let's take a look at the little ghost thing that comes with it. And it's done really good. It's hard to tell, boy, what type of plastic they used on this. It's very translucent. It almost has a purple hue to it as well. You can see the face. Yeah, it's got this ethereal feel to it, which I guess makes sense, being that it's supposed to be a ghost or whatever it was that came out of the ark, right? It's very science fiction there. And then there's a hole up here. It doesn't really want to stay very good. There must be a specific way to get this to go in. Yeah, it's not wanting to go in and connect very easy into this. I thought I had it, but then again, I don't think I have it. So I'll have to mess with this off camera because I can't seem to get this to fit in. Okay, it just took a little pushing. You just gotta be careful though, because that clear rod there's a small piece that goes up in. You could easily break it if you're not careful. So it kind of like hunches forward, as you can see, because I think it's designed to be right over the ark when you put the batteries in it and turn it on. So it's gonna light up hovering over the ark. So that's pretty cool that he comes with this. And then the ark itself, if I can bring this in, maybe zoom back a little bit, you can see some really nice detail done. It's painted in this gold paint, which looks really good. To me, it looks better in person than on the camera. But, and then the cherubs up top, let me zoom in here. They did a good job of making a pretty faithful representation from the movie of what the ark looked like. There's a picture on the side there. And then over here, and then there's the bottom. There's the on-off switch. You gotta take a screwdriver to open this up, and then it just undoes, and you can put the batteries in. Let me put these rods in now. So this is like when Indy and Sala got the ark in the Well of the Souls. They had to slide these rods in to carry it. And they both carried one on each side. So it makes me wonder, we have Indy, we now have Major Toht. If Mezco got the license in Indiana Jones, I highly doubt they're going to stop with those two figures. I mean, we need a Sala, we need a Belloc, a Marion. There could be a whole bunch of figures they could make. But then you can get an Indy with a Sala carrying the ark. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. So I'm gonna get the batteries put in this and then get it lit up, and then we'll take a look at what that looks like. Okay, as you can see, I just used a screwdriver like this, and it actually worked perfect with this screw. It doesn't have to be too small. You just unscrew it, and then this whole compartment opens up. And then here's where you put the batteries. So hopefully this thing works. Hopefully these batteries aren't dead out of package. I know that's happened sometimes with Mezco stuff. And then this slides in like so. And then you just got to screw this back down again. Which is proving to be a little difficult. There we go. Yeah, I gotta be careful as I run my screwdriver over this gold paint. Feel free to fast forward 10 seconds to get to the next part of this video. I just figured I'd show you guys. I wasn't doing it off camera, but whatever. If you're still here, that means hopefully you're enjoying the video and you enjoy all this process. You know, it's like putting stuff together. Okay, so we turn this on and then we take this off. Ooh, look at that. That is cool stuff. And we put the little ghost over it, and then he like supposedly Supposedly lights up. Let's turn some lights off here. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I don't have all my lights off, but um, let's see here if I can kind of zoom in here. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's not as white as I expected. It's more of a yellow light. It's more light in the camera than it is in person. But, you know, it's kind of cool. It might be cool for pictures, right? So yeah, that's a pretty cool deal that they gave you that. Mezco's big on electronics and light up features. That's some of the reason why you pay a little bit more for some of their stuff. I mean, you got figures that they get batteries in their neck or their heads, their eyes light up. They get a really cool engineering department with some of this stuff. And this is cool too. And I love that it's AAA batteries, not those dime batteries. It'll last a lot longer. So let's go ahead and try and do something really quick. I'm going to see how this works out. And it might be a cool thing to do for YouTube. Super cool. All right, and here's Toht burning his hand when he picks up the medallion, and he's screaming. That is such a great head sculpt. And you can take his hat off if you want. Almost looks better without the hat, I think, sometimes. The hat almost feels like it's maybe a little too big. I don't know. It looks good there, but sometimes in person it looks too big, but maybe not. But yeah, super cool. Really cool looking figure. Let's do a couple comparisons. Just real quick, I'm trying to work with this jacket some more. What I did was I used the belt that's got a wire through it to kind of hold the arms back, but it's still just, I cannot get this coat to really stay on where it looks good. It's just, in theory, on paper, I think it's a good idea, but this fake pleather just doesn't work. If it was wired, it's not wired at all. If it was wired, I might be able to keep it to stay on. So at this point, the jacket's really a loss, at least for me. I mean, we gotta play with it more, but it just doesn't want to stay on over his body. It's not big enough to go over his shoulders. So that's disappointing because, I mean, that'd be a cool look, having that coat, that Gestapo coat like he has on him, but it just doesn't want to stay. Okay, and some comparisons. Toht comes in at just over 6 inches, about 6 1/8, and Indy I think was more like 6 1/2. Well, with the hat on, I guess if I put this guy's hat on, it might be similar as well, right? Let's see here. How does he look with the hat on? He's still shorter than Indy, which I think was probably accurate for the movie. But yeah, there's the two Indiana Jones figures that Mezco has released to date, and they look really good side by side. Okay, and here on the left we have Mezco 112 Collective Popeye, and then on the right we have Muff Toys James Bond. So those look pretty cool. The James Bond's definitely taller though, as you can see. Closer to, I think, maybe 6 1/2, almost 7 inches. All right, I'd be remiss if I didn't put my favorite Mezco figure in here, Dr. Doom on the left. He's about 7 inches. And then on the right, we have a Hasbro Marvel Legends Secret Wars Captain America, which I just reviewed and absolutely love because I grew up with that stuff as a kid. So yeah, he scales great with obviously Mezco, and I think he would probably scale well with Marvel Legends as well. Typically Mezco is a bit bigger than Marvel Legends, but in this case, Toht's a little shorter. I think he works out really well. So at the end of the day, is Major Toht worth it? Well, he's 112, which in my opinion is not bad for a deluxe figure from Mezco. I would say that if you'd have to really love Indiana Jones, maybe really love this character. Otherwise, there's a lot of problems that bother me. The coat doesn't really hold on good, which kind of stinks. And the suit and everything, for mine at least, the way it was tailored, in the factory, I got some issues. And the fact that this head sculpt has that mark on it from being against the suit in the box and not having paper around the neck to protect it. That's a miss. Maybe in the factory, maybe if you get yours, maybe there's paper around that head sculpt, but this one didn't have it, and it's cost me a little issue there on the neck. But he's not available on Mezco site anymore. He's up for waitlist, but he is available on Big Bad Toy Store, which is where I got this guy from. He's actually in stock right now. So if you want this figure, Now's the time to do it probably because I would imagine this guy would sell out sometime soon because Indiana Jones is a really popular um, IP, and I think it's something we don't see too much of. I know Hasbro did some indie figures a couple years ago finally, but not a lot of indie figures out there. So I'm hoping Mezco does more. I think these head sculpts are fantastic. Probably the highlight of this release is the head sculpts, and the arc does look really nice along with that ghost. The light up function, you can, take it or leave it. Maybe you save $10 if they didn't do the light up feature. But it's cool they do stuff like that. I think it's nice that Mezco kind of goes back to your childhood when you got those play sets that had electronics, like the Millennium Falcon had electronic sound, stuff like that. It's kind of an ode to that era of 80s toys, which is pretty neat. And dang, is that head sculpt not awesome or what? Top notch from Mezco. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this release. Do you have this guy? Are you excited to get him? If you have him, do you have any complaints like I had with the jacket and that neck having that mark on it? Otherwise, give me a comment, like, subscribe. I love talking to you guys about this kind of stuff, so feel free to leave a comment. And until next time, this has been Mezco Toys 112 Collective Major Tote from Raiders of the Lost Ark.